Everyone, this is MMA Godspeed with another fight prediction video for UFC 319, and I just can't wait for this fight event to happen. This is the fight of the year, and I'm here to give you my full card predictions all the way from the prelims to the main card. And this is kind of different than my previous videos where I've been giving you my confident picks, because in this video, since I know most of these fighters on this card, I'm able to give you guys a very good prediction of how all of these fights will play out. So starting off with the first fight of the night, we have Karine Silva versus Dione Barbosa. I'm picking Dione Barbosa as an underdog to win. I think Dione Barbosa looked really good in her last fight against Diane Belbita, where Dione Barbosa was able to get a quick submission in round 1. Karine Silva, very dangerous fighter. She had a 6-win streak, all from submissions, so she's dangerous on the ground, but so is Dione Barbosa. And I think their grappling game is going to cancel each other out, and Dione Barbosa, I think, is a slightly better striker. I mean, she's also more taller and physical. Just look at the physiques between these two fighters, and I think in women's flyweight, being the bigger fighter makes a huge difference. So I think also not to mention, Karine Silva has 0% takedown defense. I mean, just look at this number. All of her opponents was able to take her down, and I think if Dione Barbosa shoots first, she's going to get that takedown, and once she gets that takedown, she's probably going to submit Karine Silva. So I'm definitely more confident in picking Dione Barbosa as compared to Karine Silva. So give me Dione Barbosa to win either by submission or by decision. We move on. So Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. I'm picking Drakkar Klose. I know a lot of people is picking Edson Barboza here. I mean, back in the day, yeah, I would say prime Edson Barboza will easily defeat Drakkar Klose. But Edson Barboza right now, I mean, he's an unk. Like, this guy's very old. Drakkar Klose is old as well, but a few years younger than Edson Barboza. And Edson Barboza, like his fight years, I mean, he's taken so much damage, and I don't know if his chin is there anymore. And Drakkar Klose, although he lost his last fight, but he was on a winning streak. And I think if Drakkar Klose can land a couple of good shots in Edson Barboza, it's night-night for Edson Barboza. And I know Edson Barboza also coming from featherweight to lightweight, so he's going to have that speed advantage here. But Drakkar Klose with his high pressure and heavy hands, I think he's going to have a lot of success here. I imagine this fight to be similar to Steve Garcia versus Calvin Kattar, whereas Steven Garcia just dominated that fight. I think Drakkar Klose is going to dominate this fight as well. So let's see how the fight plays out. We move on to the next fight. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. I'm easily picking Chase Hooper here. I mean, this guy is the real deal. He is the UFC prospect right now in the lightweight division. Very dominant grappling game. Very good striking game as well. He improved a lot since his last fight against Jim Miller. I think this is a layup for Chase Hooper. Very confident in this pick on Chase Hooper. And we move on. Jessica Andrade versus Lupita Godinez at the women's strawweight division. For this fight, I'm picking Lupita Godinez. And I think, look how angry Jessica Andrade is. I know a lot of people is picking at Jessica Andrade. She's a former champion, and she's won against Mackenzie Dern, whereas Mackenzie Dern defeated Lupita. But I think Lupita Godinez improved since especially she looked very good in her last fight. She had diarrhea on the 3rd round and still was able to win the fight. So very surprised in that. And Lupita Godinez, don't let her good looks fool you. I mean, she's got Olympic wrestling skills, and she's also improved a lot in striking. Also more physical in this fight compared to Jessica Andrade, who is the auntie. And Jessica Andrade, like, I don't think her motivation is there anymore. She gave up in her fight against Jasmine Juzevic when she got taken down. And, you know, she already won the belt. Lupita Godinez still want to be a champion. And, like, she's on her road to become a champion. And this is Lupita Godinez's time. And I think if Lupita Godinez is dialed in, she can pretty much beat anybody in the UFC women's strawweight division. So give me Lupita Godinez to win by submission or by decision. And yeah, I think that it's time's up for Auntie Jessica Andrade. So we move on to the next fight. Gerald Meerschaert versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. My heart is telling me to pick Gerald Meerschaert because he's got the most submission wins in the UFC middleweight division, and Michal Oleksiejczuk sucks on the ground and been submitted so many times in his losses. But he looked really good in his last fight. And I think with that 1 year in the new gym with the Fighting Nerds, I think his training with Kyle Borello and also with Rufi. I mean, those guys are just savages. Very good, you know, people to train with to improve your grappling game. I think that he's going to keep Gerald Meerschaert, you know, keep the fight standing and be able to knock out Gerald Meerschaert. Michal Oleksiejczuk, nasty hands. Like, his punches is literally stones. Yeah, I think that he's probably got, you know, top 5 punching power in the middleweight division. Gerald Meerschaert, I don't think he's going to get Michal Oleksiejczuk to the ground. And if Michal Oleksiejczuk can defend any of GM3's takedown, it's night-night for GM3. So give me Michal Oleksiejczuk by knockout. We move on to the next fight. Baisangur Susurkaev versus Nolan. I mean, contender prospects. I'm easily picking Baisangur over here. He's a minus 950 favorite. Really not much to talk about here. He's dominant everywhere. Give me the Russian. Next fight, we got Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. I'm picking Kai Asakura to win here. Although he lost to Pantoja in his UFC debut, you know, there was moments of success, and I feel that, you know, Kai Asakura, coming from you know, his Japanese organization, he also won against Manel Kopp. This guy is nasty, like nasty knees to the body, nasty elbows and strikes. Tim Elliott, you know, people is picking him because he's got very good grappling game, but he's kind of washed. I don't think his weird style in the weird striking styles in his mediocre grappling game is going to be any threat to Kai Asakura. So give me Kai Asakura to win by knockout. Moving on to this fight between Jared Cannonier, aka Killer Gorilla, versus Michael Venom Page, aka the Wonder Boy of the middleweight division. Now, I'm really excited about this fight. This is the fight between the two unks of the middleweight division. Both of these guys are old. Jared Cannonier is already past 40. He is the big unk, and I'm picking Jared Cannonier to win. Two people surprised because I think 80% of the money's on Michael Venom Page right now. But I think Jared Cannonier is dangerous, man. He used to fight in the heavyweight. And I think physicality and power is going to make a huge difference in the middleweight class. Jared Cannonier, I think, you know, his fight against Gregory Rodriguez showed that he's got extreme toughness. Almost got finished, but being able to come back and knock out Gregory Rodriguez, who's one of the most dangerous fighters in the UFC middleweight division, is extremely impressive. And MVP, you know, I know people are thinking that MVP is going to dance around for 3 rounds and be able to point strike win against Jared Cannonier. I think that's wishful thinking. Jared Cannonier, if he can land one decent strike in those 3 rounds, is night-night for Michael Venom Page. And I actually don't think his game plan is to strike with MVP, because anybody with a brain knows that striking with MVP is a terrible decision. MVP is one of the best strikers in the middleweight division, probably number 1 or number 2. Jared Cannonier most likely is going to clinch with Michael Venom Page, take him to the ground, either ground and pound him or just control him on the ground. Similar to how Kevin Holland and Ian Gary did in their fights, where Ian Gary, his entire game plan was to take MVP to the ground. I think if Jared Cannonier can take down Imanov and be able to take down Vettori and give Vettori the beating of his life, just imagine what he'll do with Michael Venom Page. So give me Jared Cannonier to win by ground and pound victory or by decision. So moving on to the next fight, Geoff Neal versus Carlos Prates. I'm easily picking Carlos Prates here. Geoff Neal, very good boxer, had a close split decision win against, close split decision loss to Ian Gary. And Ian Gary beat Carlos Prates. So Geoff Neal, very dangerous in the pocket, and I think if he's in the pocket, he can land some very good shots, very damaging shots to his opponents. But I think Carlos Prates, with his dangerous Muay Thai skills, he's going to have a lot of success in this fight. And, with his range and nasty knees to the body, I think he's going to keep Geoff Neal at bay and be able to point strike him to a decision win. A lot of people thinking that Carlos Prates can knock Geoff Neal out, but I think Geoff Neal is very durable. So I think that this fight most likely goes to decision. And I think Carlos Prates, with his range, is going to have a lot of success here. Geoff Neal lost to Neil Magny, whereas Carlos Prates dominated Neil Magny. So give me Carlos Prates to win by decision. Moving on to the next fight, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. I'm also very excited about this fight. I'm picking Aaron Pico. I'm going against the public bias, which people are thinking that all of these great fighters from the other promotions coming in their UFC debut, such as Patchy Mix, Patricio Pitbull, and Marcus Buchecha, like they all failed in their UFC debut. But I think this is going to be different for Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy, very good UFC veteran, undefeated in the UFC featherweight division. I mean, this guy is really good, and he knows how to win. But Aaron Pico is dangerous. And I think Lerone Murphy is the Leon Edwards of the featherweight division. Aaron Pico, he's a Golden Glove Junior, boxing prodigy. This guy's a really good boxer. And not only he's a good boxer, he's got heavy hands. If he can land any good shots on Lerone Murphy, I don't think Lerone Murphy is going to survive. And also a very aggressive grappler. I can definitely see Aaron Pico coming in, taking Lerone Murphy down on the ground, and just give him that danger and concern about takedowns, and be able to land those dangerous strikes on Lerone Murphy. Even Lerone Murphy, survived the fight. To the judges, Aaron Pico is going to look more successful. And also Vegas is heavily leaning towards Aaron Pico. 80% of the money is on Lerone Murphy, yet he's a plus 154 underdog. So if Lerone Murphy wins, Vegas is going to be losing massive amount of money. And that's a very clear indicator that Aaron Pico is going to win this fight. And, I'm confident on the statistical models that Vegas have on Aaron Pico. So give me Aaron Pico to win by either knockout or by decision. I'm very confident in this pick, so let's see how the fight plays out. And moving on to the main fight of the evening, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. I'm going with Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev is probably the best UFC pound-per-pound fighter right now. I know that may be a surprise to most people, but Khamzat Chimaev is one of the few people that has ever taken down Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is one of the best grapplers in the UFC. And he made it look easy. And, people's questioning his cardio, I don't think it's going to be an issue. He looked pretty well in his fight against Kamaru Usman. And Dricus du Plessis, he's very successful against pure strikers. He's also got taken down by Robert Whittaker. And, if Robert Whittaker and Brunson has taken Dricus down, Khamzat will easily take down Dricus and get his back and get a submission win. I think this is Khamzat Chimaev's time right now. He's going to take that belt away from DDP, and I honestly couldn't see Khamzat defending the belt for multiple years and probably surpassing Anderson Silva's record. So give me Khamzat Chimaev to win by either submission or decision. And I think it's going to be the fight on the night as well. So hopefully this video will help you guys on making your decisions and picks on this fight. And I really can't wait for the main event. And make sure to give a thumbs up for this video, especially if I'm 90% correct on these picks. Definitely subscribe to my channel. So can't wait for the fight. So let's see how all these fights play out. And hope y'all enjoy the fight as well.